Hello, this is Robin the PMP, and today what I'm going to do is I am going to walk you through how the brand new people domain maps back to your 49 processes. To do this, I'm going to start with the 2021 ECO, that is the exam content outline for the 2021 PMP exam. Let's get started. Over here on the left-hand side, you can see a column that will tell you the task name for the 2021 ECO. In the center, we have our domain, which is people. That's 42% of the exam. And then on the right-hand side, we have a column that maps us back to the 49 processes to make it a little bit easier to know what to study. So let's start with manage conflict. Interpret the source and stage of conflict. Now this maps back to task 3.1 of the exam that was used in December of 2020. Analyze the context for the conflict. That again maps back old exam 3.1. Evaluate, recommend, reconcile, and reconcile the appropriate conflict. That's 3.1. And resolve solution. That's acquire team, develop team, manage team, conduct procurements, and other associated plan procurement management and plan resource management processes. Task 2, lead a team. Set a clear vision and mission. That maps back to task 1.5 and 2.2 of the former exam. Support diversity and inclusion. For example, behavior types and the thought process. This goes back to 2.1 and 3.1. Value servant leaderships. Relate the tenets of servant leadership to the team. This is new content. It wasn't on the prior exam. Determine an appropriate leadership style, directive, collaborative. This goes back to task 1.3. Inspire, motivate, and influence your team members. For instance, the team contract, the social contract, and reward systems. This goes back to 3.1. Analyze team members and stakeholders' influence, 1.3. Distinguish various options to lead various team members and stakeholders, that's 1.5. Our 49 processes are: develop project charter, identify stakeholders, plan scope management, and other associated scope planning processes, acquire team, develop team, manage team, conduct procurements, and associated plan procurement management and plan resource management tasks. Let's take a look at task 3. Support team performance. Appraise team members' performance against the key performance indicators. That's 3.1. Support and recognize team member growth and development, 3.1. Develop appropriate feedback approach, 3.1. Verify performance improvements, 4.3. That is control risk, risk assessment, plan risk management, identify risks, perform qualitative risk analysis, perform quantitative risk analysis, plan risk responses, implement risk responses, direct and manage project work, control risks, risk audit, and the risk assessment. Task 4, empower team members and stakeholders. Organize around team strengths, 2.5. Support team task about accountability, 2.12. 3.1. Evaluate demonstration of task accountability, 1.6. 4.1. Determine and bestow levels of decision-making authority, 1.6. 2.13. Project selection methods. Identify stakeholder and develop project charter. Task 5. Ensure team members stakeholders are adequately trained. Determine required competencies and elements of training. 2.5. Determine training options based on training needs. 2.5. Allocate resources for training. 2.5. And measure team outcomes. This is new for the 2021 exam. This maps back to plan cost management and other associated cost planning processes, plan resource management, monitor and control project work, and all controlling processes, scope to stakeholders. Let's do another one. So let's now do, I lost my place. Let's see which one we just finished. There we go. Build a team. Appraise stakeholder skills. That's 1.3, 3.1. Deduce project resource requirements. 1.1, 1.3, 2.5, 3.1. Continuously assess and refresh team skills to meet project needs. That's 2.5 and 3.1. Maintain team and knowledge transfer. Now this is new. It's new to the exam. This maps back to project selection methods. Identify stakeholder. Develop project charter. Identify stakeholders. Plan resource management. Acquire team. Develop team. Manage team. Conduct procurements. Associated plan procurement management, and plan resource management. Address and remove impediments, obstacles, and blockers for the team. Determine critical impediments, obstacles, and blockers for the team. 2.10. Prioritize critical impediments, obstacles, and blockers for the team. 2.10. Use network to implement solutions to remove impediments, obstacles, and blockers for the team. 3.5. Reassess continually to ensure impediments, obstacles, and blockers for the team are being addressed. 4.4. Plan risk management. Identify risks. Perform qualitative risk analysis. Perform quantitative risk analysis. Plan risk responses, direct and manage project work, and associated perform integrated change control, control quality, and then take a look at the PMBOK mainline, control risk, the risk audit, and risk assessment. Negotiate project agreements. Analyze the bounds of the negotiation for the agreement, assess priorities, and determine ultimate objectives. That's 1.2, above is 2.7. Verify obstacles of the project. Verify objectives of the project agreement is met. That's 4.3, 5.1. Participate in meeting negotiations. That's 3.1, 4.7. Determine a negotiation strategy. That maps back to identify stakeholders, develop project charter, and plan stakeholder engagement. Collaborate with stakeholders. Evaluate engagement needs for stakeholders. 1.3. Optimize alignment between stakeholder needs, expectations, and project objectives. 1.7, 2.12. Build trust and influence stakeholders to accomplish project objectives. 1.8. That maps back to identify stakeholders, identify project charter, identify and develop project management plan. Number 10, build shared understanding. Break down situation to identify the root cause of misunderstanding. That's 2.6. Survey all necessary parties to reach consensus. That's 1.7, 2.13. Support outcome of parties agreement. That's 4.7. Investigate potential misunderstandings. That's 2.6. That maps to develop project charter, identify stakeholders, plan communications management, plan stakeholder engagement, control procurements, monitor and control project work, which is associated with it, and it's also associated with direct and manage project work. Engage and support virtual teams. Examine a virtual team member needs, their environment, their geography, their culture, their goal, the global. That's 3.1. Investigate alternatives, communication tools for coalition. That's 3.1. For virtual team member engagement, 3.1. Implement options for virtual team member engagement, 3.1. That takes us back to acquire team, develop team, manage team, conduct procurements, and associated plan procurement management and plan resource management. Task 12, define ground rules. Communicate organizational principles with team and external stakeholders. That takes us to 3.6. Establish an environment that fosters adherence to the ground rules. 3.1. Manage and rectify ground rule violations. This takes us to 3.1, which is again, acquire team, develop team, manage team, conduct procurements, and associated your plan procurement management and your plan resource management. 2 more left. Task 13, mentor relevant stakeholders. Allocate the time to mentoring. That's 3.1. Recognize and act on mentoring opportunities. 3.1. That takes us back to, again, acquire team, develop team, manage team, procurements, and associated plan procurement management and your plan resource management. And now let's do 14, promote team performance through the application of emotional intelligence. For those of you that watch a TV show called The Bachelor, there was somebody very passionate about that in a recent season. Assessed behavior through the use of personality indicators, which is new. Analyze personality indicators and adjust to the emotional needs of project stakeholders. That is new again. Thank you so much. I hope this was helpful. If you are in the mood for a giggle, you may want to watch The Bachelor Men Tell All for 2020. You'll learn a lot about emotional intelligence there in an ironic way. Please subscribe.